Well, hello friends, and welcome back to the witch's shop. I've again denuded it from the last pretty picture we took and apparently abandoned this pencil in frame. We are now going to fill the rock reservoirs. I think the Stuart Semple stuff works great. There is good coverage. The only thing that was bad was the coverage of my painting underneath, which it shows because the painting had some shine to it. So definitely use a matte when you're laying down your paint, and definitely do a better job than I did. I used the super cheap paint because they said that that was the one that they recommended, I would like to point out. And it looked horrible. So use good miniature paint underneath. Now we have, well, I've lost the little baggie of perfect crystals. Well, I'll find them. But we have crystals to go in like these. We're gonna find, I have a bag of teeny tiny bones that I figured we can make some like knuckle bones for divination. And then we can fit, I think, 3 types of stone in each one. So I've pulled out all of the pebbles. Naturally, we will select the finest pebbles out of the bunch, like I did with my giant jar of pebbles, because one of the many things that Sarah sells are what she calls palm stones. And they, 1, are nice to fidget with. 2, you get a like larger specimen of the mineral. And 3, they're real pretty. So I went through my favorite pebble jar and I pulled out these, the finest of my agate pebbles. Look how good they are. That's such a good pebble. That one's carnelian, actually. Carnelian is an agate, but it's an agate of specific colors. We don't need to go into that. That's an autistic arc we don't need to go down. Anyway, I figured at least like 1 on each side could be for cooler palm stones. These 2 don't, well, that one looks good. You might get into the reject pile. And then we have some crystals, but I figured under the crystal ones, you could layer ones of larger crystals that you would like want to pad so people don't drop them. I'm thinking we can add some of this nice lichen foof. Oh yeah, that looks nice there. We can add some lichen foof for the, for pity's sake, where did I lose the baggie of crystals? Oh, criminy. Well, you know, I'll find them. But anyway, we can lay the little crystal points up here, and just so we get a little more contrast, maybe we'll put them down here. Either way, I think we get 3, 6, 9, 12. So we need at least 12 specimens. So I will meticulously go through all of these and find the most appropriate sized peridot. Distracted. I'll find the most beautiful ones of each pebble. I also have this one that I'm going to make into like a little for sale large specimen stone. I have some hoarded snippets of sunstone over here from Oregon that I have hoarded specifically because they were much nicer than the pebble mix that they came in. You guys don't keep a hoarded pebbles from pebbles you purchase to sell? Well, you're missing out. Get yourself a jar and start putting pebbles in it. But I thought these had a great contrast, and they have this like crazy natural sparkle. So we have palm stones, we have sunstones, we have mineral selections galore, we have lichens, and then also there are some areas like, if I pick this up and tip it, you can see one kind of right here. There's like little edges where the glue has dried over the days and kind of receded underneath things as it shrinks up. So what I'm thinking is we'll add some glue and add a little dimension with something a little more crumbly, like perhaps some mosses have grown out from under the wood. And I think we will also attempt to paint some wood. Currently debating if we should add a beam from here to here at like a right angle to hold up Sarah's sign. Because then the sign could go here if this is at a 90-90. We'll think on it. Also, I acquired this little teeny tiny, what I think is a bakery stand. But the good news is because my eyeballs do visual Tetris, thanks to my autism, it fits on both the back shelf, there, and on the front shelf, because my brain does that really, really well for me. I wish I could tell you why. But we need something to put the tiny horns on, and we're just waiting for our acrylic horn mold. Sarah sells horns. We can't not have the horns in her booth. I mean, get with the program, people. All right, well, let's do some rock selecting and organizing, and we'll see where we end up. All right, well, we have gotten those rocks in. I'm leaving this one open in case I have like a stroke of genius and want to put spheres there or something. So now we are going to attack these little kind of holes that have accumulated as this dried and settled, and cram them full of moss or lichens or some such. But either way, this is looking good. I had a moral dilemma because I was thinking, oh, well, maybe we should have the calico critters have like a skull on the outside of your shop, Sarah. And then I was like, well, whose skull would it be? Because then they'd be killing their compatriots. And I don't want to get into the whole California versus the Sylvanian Civil War thing again. I'll explain that at a later date. Anyway, let's get some mossing done. And that'll probably finish us off for this episode. There's plenty more stuff coming. We have to make horns and all sorts of other items. But let's see how we do mossing up the holes. Yeah, I will try to make that visible. I'm not sure how, but I'll do my best. All right, I think this is where we're going to leave it for this episode. We have all of our rocks in place, as you can see. It looks chaotic, but it looks chaotic in person as well, because it's just that many kinds of rocks. We have amethyst, and bloodstone, and kyanite, and aquamarine, and sunstone, and lepidolite, and smoky quartz, and moonstone, and petrified wood, and malachite, and unakite, and pyrite, and a bunch of agate palm stones. One of them is a tigerite, and one of them is a carnelian. Carnelian is just a color specifier. It's agate. Don't let people lie to you. Peridot, red jasper, and labradorite. And did I take ages to select each and every one to make sure that the flash was facing up on the stones so that they sparkle pretty? I sure did. Picked all the best stripy malachites too. Not the least bit unhinged. Anyway, and we have all of our little, mosses peeking out from all of the little places that mosses can go. And we are ready to move on. So I figure in the next one, we have gotten more roof tiles. What a relief. So we have roof tiles we can do. We continue to like soften these harder edges, make things look a little more lived in and licheny, if you will. And you know, just continue. We have a lot more stuff to make. The tiny molds came for the horns that Sarah makes for real life-size people, not calico critters. Which makes me think that we should install magnets in the head of her calico critter, because then we can just have the little horns just like snap right onto her little possum head. Let me know what you think in the comments. And I got some teeny tiny 3D printed mushrooms that we can plant around in the cracks. Anyway, I hope I've earned your like or subscribe today, and if you would like to keep following along as I recreate my friend's store, please do. I will be here presumably until I can't be anymore. Anyway, I see you in the next one. Bye!